Welcome to Chasing Curiosity TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The Celebes Sea, just after dawn, September 15, 2025. Two warships, Indonesia's KRI Raden Edi Martadinata and the Philippines' BRP Jose Rizal, cut through the deep blue, flanked by support vessels. This is no ordinary patrol. Officers from both nations stand side by side on the bridges, coordinating every move. Their communication is sharp, the result of months of preparation. Sailors work with focused precision, aware that every action is being watched, by allies and rivals alike. Helicopters thunder overhead, practicing landings. Patrol boats dart across the water, simulating interdictions. The entire operation is a display of unity and readiness. The message: Indonesia and the Philippines are prepared to defend their shared interests. The Celebes Sea is more than a border. It's a vital gateway for trade and security in Southeast Asia. For these two archipelagic nations, control of these waters is about sovereignty and survival. This joint exercise is a bold declaration. The region's security will be shaped by those who live here, not by distant powers. The world is watching as these navies demonstrate resolve. The stakes are high, but so is the sense of purpose. This is not a rehearsal for war, but a statement of intent. The alliance is new, but the determination is clear. The region's future will be decided by those willing to stand together. The silent tension on deck is a reminder. Peace is preserved by preparation. Today, the Celebes Sea is a stage for cooperation, not conflict. But the message is unmistakable. These nations are ready for whatever comes next. A new era of Southeast Asian naval power has dawned. MTA Filindo 2025. Maritime training activity, a blend of Philippines and Indonesia. Officially, it's about interoperability and fighting piracy, smuggling, and illegal fishing. The drills are complex joint patrols, communication exercises, and search and rescue missions. A key scenario, responding to a simulated pirate hijacking, testing real-time coordination. But there's more beneath the surface. Anti-submarine warfare and air defense drills hint at preparation for state-level threats, not just criminals. Advanced surveillance and intelligence sharing show deep trust. This is a rehearsal for a more serious confrontation. Observers ask, is this really about pirates, or is it about China? The timing follows a year of rising South China Sea tensions. China's assertiveness has grown, overlapping with both nations' exclusive economic zones. No official will say it, but the subtext is clear. MTA Filindo 2025 is a strategic message, aimed squarely at Beijing. The region is preparing for more than just law enforcement. The real driver behind MTA Filindo 2025 is China's expanding reach. Beijing's 9-dash line claims nearly the entire South China Sea, defying international law. The 2016 Hague Tribunal sided with the Philippines, but China ignored the ruling and built militarized islands. Filipino fishermen are pushed out, and Philippine vessels face constant harassment. China's tactics are calculated, not random, meant to intimidate and enforce its claims. Indonesia faces similar incursions near the Natuna Islands, leading to tense standoffs. Both nations assert their rights under UNCLOS, but China's pressure persists. This joint drill is a direct response, a move from isolated protests to collective action. By training together, Indonesia and the Philippines show they won't be picked off one by one. The exercise signals unity. China's actions threaten all coastal states. It's a shift from protest to deterrence. The region is quietly but firmly pushing back. The South China Sea is a global economic artery. 1/3 of maritime trade, over $3 trillion, passes through. For Southeast Asia, it's a source of food, jobs, and energy. Fisheries feed millions, but overfishing, much by China's fleet, threatens stocks. Oil and gas reserves are vital for development. UNCLOS grants coastal states exclusive rights to resources within 200 nautical miles. China's sweeping claims ignore these rules, undermining neighbors' legal rights. Exercises like MTA Filindo 2025 aren't just military. They're about defending a rules-based order. Patrolling these waters enforces UNCLOS and the principle of equal rights. For these nations, the rule of law is the foundation of prosperity. The stakes are economic survival, not just security. MTA Falindo 2025 builds on years of regional defense cooperation. ASEAN has long been the forum for dialogue, but consensus limits action. Bilateral and smaller multilateral drills are now the norm for real military cooperation. Indonesia and the Philippines have patrolled together before, but this exercise is a major upgrade. The focus has shifted from pirates to state threats. Across the Indo-Pacific, security partnerships are multiplying. Multilateral drills now include the US, Australia, Japan, and even European navies. ASEAN countries are moving from hedging to deeper cooperation with the US and allies. Diplomacy remains, but it's now backed by credible defense. This coalition building is a direct response to China's assertiveness. China's response to MTA Falindo 2025 was swift, calling it a provocation. Beijing urges regional trust, but accuses others of forming divisive cliques. Chinese media warned the Philippines and Indonesia against playing with fire and aligning with the US. China frames itself as a benevolent neighbor, blaming the US for stirring conflict. Simultaneously, the PLA Navy holds its own drills, flexing military muscle. This tit-for-tat is routine. China counters every exercise it dislikes. Beijing demands respect for its claims, but ignores its neighbors' rights. Any pushback is seen as a challenge to China's authority. This mindset makes real dialogue and de-escalation elusive. China's gray zone tactics use Coast Guard and maritime militia to assert claims without open war. The Chinese Coast Guard, often larger and better armed, blocks and intimidates foreign vessels. Maritime militia, hundreds of fishing boats, swarm disputed areas, occupying them by sheer presence. Notable incidents: Filipino supply boats blocked and blasted with water cannons, militia boats anchoring for weeks at Whitsun Reef. These tactics force neighbors into a dilemma: respond and risk escalation, or do nothing and lose control. Building Coast Guard strength and joint patrols is the answer, pushing back without crossing into conflict. It's a daily contest of wills in the South China Sea. The struggle is slow, but the resolve is growing. Indonesia and the Philippines are fighting back with a two-pronged strategy. First, building alliances and reinforcing international law. The Philippines has expanded US military access. Both nations deepen ties with Australia and Japan. Joint exercises and intelligence sharing create a security web that's hard for China to isolate. Invoking the 2016 arbitral ruling frames the dispute as a legal issue, not just a power struggle. Second, modernizing their militaries. New frigates, submarines, radar, and surveillance drones. Improved maritime domain awareness lets them track Chinese movements in real time. Fusing partner intelligence sharpens their response. Building bridges and sharpening spears. This is pragmatic defense. The region is no longer passive, it's actively shaping its own security. These new coalitions are shifting Southeast Asia's security landscape. China's actions now carry higher costs. Every incident is filmed, protested, and met with stronger patrols. Security partnerships deter aggression. China risks multilateral pushback, not just isolated resistance. The goal isn't war, but to make aggression too costly to contemplate. Southeast Asian nations are moving from protest to proactive defense. They're building capacity and coalitions to defend their interests. MTA Falindo 2025 is a symbol of this new reality: self-reliance and mutual support. The future of the South China Sea won't be dictated by Beijing alone. The message leadership comes through cooperation and respect for law, not coercion. China's aggression is uniting its neighbors and driving them toward its rivals. This joint drill is more than a military exercise. It's a declaration of regional resolve. The rule of law, not force, will shape the destiny of these vital waters.